Kia ora koutou katoa, te iwi nau mai hara mai ki te Ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te kore mako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, I know she is an inspiration to many, someone who leads a healthy lifestyle, a super mum that has represented Taranaki and New Zealand in touch, and someone that makes most sports look pretty easy. We're very lucky to have her here with us on the show. No mai hara mai, Elise Niu. Welcome to the show.
Kia ora. Thank you for having me.
Ka pai, it's lovely to have you on the show, Elise. Firstly, we'll just get started. Ko wai koe, no he koe, a bit about yourself and where you're from.
Kia ora. Okay, ko Elise tōku ingoa, no Wanganui aho. I was raised in Wanganui till the age of 10, and then we moved up down Pōneke ways. So a lot of my kind of early, mid kind of tweens, teenage years have been down in Paraparumu, Otaki ways. And I think that's where kind of the sports side of things really started to pick up. And here we are today, 40 years old, living in Wanganui, 29 years later.
How awesome. How awesome. Now, I know touch is something that's quite close to your heart, something that you're really passionate about, but did you always play touch? Was it always touch as a kid, or were there other sports that you played as well?
So no, touch rugby, which is what it was called back when I first started playing, wasn't really a sport that I wanted to play. I started out as a tennis player, so that was my sport growing up. In Wanganui, we used to play on the grass courts here and played netball. But to be honest, and to be fair, touch, we called it New Image Rugby back in my day. So it was the 2 touches around the hips in primary school. And then from there, I joined a touch team. I think I was the only girl in the team called Bad Boys Wanganui. And then from there, when we moved up to Wellington, Pōneke ways, there was no touch for kids. And so my mum went out and gave, put some pamphlets out to other schools and created her own touch competition so me and my little brother could play. But it wasn't something, it was just something that we could do in the summer to run around and, burn off some energy, But it wasn't until representative touch didn't really come till a little bit later. I do remember playing down local park touch in Paraparumu, and there was a family there that would kind of hit me up on the side of the fields. Oh, you should come and play reps. And back then, I think I would have only been about 14 at the time. It wasn't really my thing. I didn't even own a pair of touch shoes. I used to run around in bare feet, and wasn't until I just met a few friends that played touch and I jumped on the bandwagon. So my first touch experience would have been at the age of 16 or 17, and I played for Kapiti Horowhenua. And then from there, I kind of just really enjoyed it, but I still just played for the fun of it, played with all my mates, and it really didn't get too serious until I feel like it was like one of those random selections that I got selected for the New Zealand under 21 mixed squad. I went to that camp and I fell in love. And then from there onwards, I met my now husband at the age of 18 at this touch camp in Hatupolra at the age of 18. And from there, I think that's just where that was my ticket into Taranaki, was through my husband, Ray. So from there, my touch game just progressed. My understanding of the game progressed, being around the likes of Rangi Hiroti, who was our New Zealand coach at the time. And like kudos to him, because he had all these kids. There was no skin in the game except for just coaching and the love of coaching. And I just remember him picking us up in New Plymouth. So I moved down to Taranaki at the age of 18 to be with my now husband, Ray. And he used to just pick us kids up and take us to all the park comps around New Plymouth and down in Hawera. And we would play 3 nights a week. And I put it down to that man who really just loved the game and just coached us from the sidelines. He was our transportation. He was our guide to the game. And from there, my game grew once I moved to Taranaki and was exposed to some very amazing players, like the likes of Chris Woods, my husband, I think the world of him. I think he's the man still to this day. There's so many amazing Taranaki players that I got to learn from and got to play alongside with. So I'm pretty blessed. Yeah, I'm pretty grateful for those days. Yeah.
That's awesome. I do remember those days, all the awesome mahi that Rangi and the team would do for all the young ones. So, during that time when you were playing for Taranaki, you must have some pretty awesome memories. I know you had a pretty good team back in the day. So tell us a little bit about those memories and some of the players you played alongside within the Taranaki colours.
Yeah, sure. So there's Sean Brown, Trace Damon, Cornell Grant, Keisha Grant. Who else is out there? There's Michelle Manahi. Oh gosh, White Lightning. We call her White Lightning, which is Hannah. Hannah, I think she's married now, so she'll have a new surname. Who else? I feel sad that I'm going to miss someone out. Mad Dog, would never know his real name because that's what we called him, Mad Dog. Obviously playing beside, alongside my husband too. Ray has been a bonus throughout this whole entire kind of experience and journey through touch. But yeah, we've had such an awesome experience and played along the best of the best. And back in those days, New Zealand teams were just made up of Taranaki players. And also so was the open mixed. You've got back then it was the crumb ones and the Ratahis. So, and who else is out there? The Chris Woods. Oh, like I said, we were just surrounded by greatness. And we played some awesome touch. I know that we won youth nationals a few times, then went up to opens. I know that there were a couple of grand finals there once we hit opens. But what a wicked place to be for touch back in those days. And I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same around now as well. So, yeah.
100%. Well, he's obviously forged some quite close relationships from back in the days, all those stalwarts playing touch still today. So tell us a little bit about the Taranaki Masters side. So you just got back from sunny Fiji and it sounded like an awesome experience over there in the Fijian Cup.
Yeah, so the Fijian Cup is one of those premier events that all touch heads need to have on their calendar, to be honest. It was our first year playing in the Fijian Cup for Taranaki. There's been obviously multiple times Taranaki have travelled over to play in this amazing tournament. But the energy is just unmatched. I've never experienced a touch tournament quite like the Fijian Cup. And so I'm gutted, we're both gutted, myself and Ray, that we haven't actually been. We were supposed to go a year ago and we chose not to. We decided, too many things are going on. We've got 5 kids, but we're really grateful that this time around the stars aligned and we were able to make it over there. It's everything that you want. It truly is an international atmosphere. So you've got the likes of Australian teams coming over, then you've got your local Fijian teams, and then you've got your New Zealand teams coming over, your top quality New Zealand club teams. We're talking Wairere as one from the Bay. We've got the full scene from Wanganui. Then you've got Patea as well, who did incredibly well in the mixed grade. So it was really one of those tournaments that if you play touch and you want to have a good time alongside playing the game that you love, the Fijian Cup is a must to be put into your calendar. Just the organisation of it. Again, another Taranaki wānau that has put this alongside others, put this together, and that's the Harley Wall. And so it's one of those tournaments where you bring together culture, the game, an experience of a lifetime, relaxation, a beautiful holiday on a tropical paradise, so what more could you ever want? What more could you ever want? And I've actually said that this tournament will be probably the only major tournament I'll play every year now is Fijian Cup. Yeah, that and Maldives. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. You even got seen all the highlight reels. I even got a bit excited, even though I haven't dusted off the boots for many years now. But you never know.
Put the boots back on, bro. Put the boots back on. Yeah.
I mean,
look, I remember playing alongside you one night for Park Touch as well. So, you
Yeah,
know,
back in the days.
Yeah. So get some
Good
back on,
times.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, hard out. So for those whānau at home, touch is such a great game. It's for everybody, isn't it? It's for
Yep.
our tāne, for our wahine, our young kōtero,
Yes.
our young tama. So what's the best way for whānau at home that may not have played touch before to get involved with the game?
Yeah. I mean, it's find your local competition. And you will find too, if you don't have connections to a club or a team, make contact with your local association, because there'll be teams that also need numbers. There'll be some, along the sides of, in terms of organizing teams, they will find you a team. So, I mean, or it could be that you have a family that you just want to play together. Oh, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, yep. Sorry, my computer did something funny. You'll be able to cut that
All
out,
right.
eh?
All good.
Yeah. It's if you're a family out there wanting to look at playing, it's all about connections and networks and basically who you know. Sadly, like touch isn't one of those sports. It is a minority sport, so to speak, but it also is a sport that brings people together. So I always say, don't be shy, make connections. And I think too, associations really need to do their best to try and get new people coming in and extending their hand out to new whānau, to new people, because we want to keep developing the game and we want our game to stay alive and to also thrive. And we can't do that if we keep ourselves, small and not extending our arms out to new players of all levels, because this game can be played for anyone. And, if you want to be competitive, there is a pathway. If you want a social run with your family on a Friday night, there is a pathway. If you've got young ones that you see that this sport could help with development, or just getting your kid out there to build confidence, then there's a pathway for that. So my advice is just to try and connect and jump on Facebook. Social media is massive. So just try and connect to your local association to help you out with how to start. Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome bit of advice there for our whānau that want to get into the great game of touch. Now, I mentioned earlier that you're a bit of a jack of all trades. You're a pretty sharp netballer. Now, I also heard that you played a little bit of rugby league last year in a local tournament down there in Waverley. How did you enjoy that experience?
Oh, I loved it so much. It was my first, like I said, first experience playing rugby league in the Taranaki tournament. I was supposed to actually come and play this year as well, but due to going to Fiji the week after, I thought I'd better take care of the tinana, and so decided to sit out for that one. If the stars aligned again, I didn't have Fijian Cup, I would have definitely played again. I fell in love with a new sport, and this is the beauty of touch. It's the skills are so transferable in so many different sports, and hence the reason that there was always touch in my life, just a little bit, whether it was just for fun, social, or a way to burn some energy, because I was quite a hyperactive child, or later on where it went to higher honours. The skills that you learn from the sport, the fitness, the agility, the speed that you can build from just playing the sport is so transferable into things like rugby league, rugby, your sevens. And I know family are really clicking onto this, because touch football, flag or tag, whatever it's called, it's huge over in Australia. Our Australian families, mums and dads, are picking up and they're enrolling their kids into sports like touch, because they're picking up on that these skills will build great foundations for rugby and rugby league, and with massive opportunities now for our kōtero, with the NRLW, with Black Fern Sevens, and all sorts. We're clicking on now to the sport that can be a really great starting place for our girls and our boys, and that will help with those foundations for those skills later. So It's a very exciting time, and I think that if we are focusing on development with those sports, and if you are a sporty whānau or has a kid that really has a passion for things like rugby league or rugby, get them into touch. It's a good place to start. I think it's a known fact. Someone said to me, it's a known fact that all 6 and 7s in a game of rugby league all started out with a touch background and the NRL and the NRLW. And I look at some of these NRLW girls and I go, oh, I remember her. She played touch at, down in Wellington, or she played touch up in, Auckland. So I see, a lot of our girls from Rugby Sevens in New Zealand who are cracking it now, I used to play with, for touch. And so if that's not screaming how awesome the sport is, I don't know what is.
That's awesome. Totally agree. I've seen that firsthand with some of our league boys. When they go and play touch, they just come back better for it. So now you're also a bit of a super mum and involved with heaps of different positive kaupapa that encourage a healthy lifestyle and healthy way of living. What is it that makes you want to lead this kind of life and inspire others? Because I know that firsthand that it does inspire others. You've inspired me with some of the awesome positive stuff that you're doing out there, especially for our super mamas out there. So give us a little bit more about the other things that you're involved with in that space.
Oh, kapai. So I'm also, obviously, I have a background in personal training. I mean, we studied together and did, our certain sport development and things like that. So exercise, health, sports has always been a really important part of my life. And I think it's just, I can't explain how I fell into it. I just think it's part of my DNA and wanting to live a healthy lifestyle. I've got to now the young, beautiful age of 40. And so now it's all about, longevity and biohacking, I guess, how to stay on this earth longer. And so really looking deeper on the levels of, our te whare tapawha, and taking care of, my physical health and my tinana through sports that I play. Not only that, but, through social ways of me being out in the social world and my community, and how I can, give back. And that's through my coaching a ton of my kids' sports, and then also taking care of my wairoa and my mental health. And, those can look like, meditation in the morning, my cold showers after a workout, or most mornings I do cold showers and cold water therapy. And that just really helps with, I guess, for my discipline and also resilience, and also just beginning the day with something hard is so good for your mental health. If you can jump in a cold shower first thing in the morning, you can tackle anything that gets thrown at you any day, so and like you mentioned before, like, I'm a busy mum. I have 5 children and 2 cats, so and a husband. So I wear many hats. And so for me, it's about being aware of which hat's on at that time, and being really mindful. So practicing my mindfulness has been really important. But I think it's just not being afraid to kōrero outwards some things that my thoughts on things, and also things that I think that could help others, that could really just drop those knowledge bombs on, getting a good 10-hour sleep, or 8 to 10 hours sleep, is going to be really healthy, really helpful for my wairoa, and really great for my mental health. And I'm just not afraid of sharing things. I think that's what's been a pinnacle thing. And what I've learned is that I'm very confident in just speaking my mind. And it's not for everyone. My kaupapa is not for everyone, and that is okay. But I reach the people whose kaupapa it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time, Elise. Such an inspiration to many of us. Great to see you still paving the way and showcasing the importance of keeping fit and well, alongside, the busyness of being a mama. Even though you only live down the road in Wanganui, we're still going to claim you as ours here in Taranaki. So thanks again.
I actually come from Ngāti Maru. Is it Ngāti Maru? Yeah. So,
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So one of ours. So thanks again, and we wish you all the very best in your future endeavours to Ray and the kids. And thanks for your time for joining the show.
Kia ora, ngā mihi.
Kia ora.